Ladies and gentlemen. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Unofficially IMO. I am your host. Welcome back. We are live once again. I've been kind of slacking on the as I'm making of recording in this video. I've been kind of slacking. A little bit on the videos, and I don't want to do that. The problem is when I try to get time to put up videos, I always got something else going on that takes up that time, and I guess I just need to prioritize my time a little bit better. You know what I mean? I think that's what the problem is. You got to prioritize your time better. That's what I meant to say. Ladies and gents, what a crazy week that we've been having so far, especially with the ongoing investigation in Minneapolis with Alex Pretti. A lot of hype surrounding that, and also too there's an incident with Border Patrol again today in Arizona, south of Phoenix, and that's got some attention going right now, and a lot going on with that. A lot of stuff going on with that right now, and that's very early on. I don't even want to discuss exactly what's happening with that right now. I really don't, because there's not enough information out there as of yet to even really comment on that. What's going on, Adam? Welcome. Yep, I appreciate you being here. Hello. Dawn's in the house as well. Bingo in the house. Trump 2020. Yes. Say Trump. I said Trump 2020. That's not what I meant to say. Trump. Actually, Trump 2028. That's the unhinged part that gets people going when you say Trump 2028. Ladies and gentlemen, as well, I forgot to put up the poll. What I missed? You didn't miss anything. We just got started. The one thing I did forget to do, I like to put up a poll at the beginning of my live episodes, because I record these and then I put them up as videos on my YouTube channel, and I completely forgot to do my poll. I forgot. Let me see here. Let me see. No, but well, okay. All right, we'll go ahead and start this here poll, guys. Here we go. Let's go ahead and start that bad boy. Yes, we are trying to grow this channel as we speak here. And if you haven't already, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Make sure you guys turn on those notifications as well. It is entirely free. Turn on that bell notification. And what that does is it gives you, every time I go live, it gives you a notification to let you know a video drops that I drop on this channel, or anything related to Unofficially IMO, as far as a post or a drop of a video or live stream. Make sure you guys are doing that as well. Let me go ahead and start this QA on the other side, on the horizontal side. No, but I will now. Yippers. Okay. We are ready to go, guys. We are ready to go. All right, everything is set. But yes, guys, we are trying to grow this YouTube channel. It's still very much in the early stages of development. We do have a handful of videos out there as well. But this is very much in experiment mode. We're just trying to get everything everything worked out. The kinks worked out. When you start a brand new YouTube channel, you're kind of just like in the middle of just trying to figure things out. And on this side of things, that's exactly what's happening right now. But yes, we are ready to rock and roll, and I appreciate all of you guys being here as well. And if you haven't been paying attention as of late, we have had a lot of craziness going on. A lot of craziness going on in Minneapolis right now. And I'm going to just give you my thoughts, especially up to date right now, especially when it comes to Alex Pretti and the shooting there. So again, let's just kind of reiterate. Okay, let's reiterate. Alex Pretti, again, a 37-year-old ICU nurse who served at the Veterans Lives, who saved, let me start that over. Alex Pretti, a 37-year-old VA ICU nurse who saved veterans' lives, because he did, was shot and killed by Border Patrol agents in Minneapolis on January 24th of 2026. Now, is this a tragic loss? I feel terrible, and it is a tragic loss. I feel terrible that a hardworking American has passed away at the hands of ICE. Nobody's arguing that fact. But facts don't lie when you start unfolding the truth about what's actually going on. But the facts don't lie. Okay, he didn't have to insert himself into an active federal immigration operation. He showed up armed with a licensed concealed carry, filming agents, and it got physical into the chaos, stepping in during a scuffle where a woman who was shoved and pepper sprayed. The bystander video shows him holding a phone, not brandishing a gun, before agents tackled him. His firearm was pulled from his holster during the takedown. Multiple agents fired, at least 10 shots over the course of just a few seconds. 10 shots is about what we know so far. So I think it was a grand total of 10 shots that was fired while he was on the ground. DHS says it was self-defense after he approached ongoing DHS reviewing let me start that over. DHS says it was self-defense after he approached armed witnesses and synced footage pushed back hard, calling it excessive. The latest update, investigation is ongoing by DHS, and they're reviewing body cameras, cam video from multiple angles, involved officers on admin duty as well. All the officers that were involved, they are no longer, I would feel that those officers that were involved in that shooting, they're no longer working at this point. They're on, what do you call that? Admin leave, or just on leave of duty. Trump sending the border czar, Tom Holman, to manage ops and signaling some de-escalation with partial agent pullback from Minneapolis as well. That's been in the talks with the governor there in Minnesota, and obviously the mayor as well, which I have some, wouldn't you like to be some thoughts on that? Wouldn't you like to be a fly on the wall during that conversation that he had with Tim Walz, just to see the communication that they had back and forth with each other? That I would love to be able to listen to that conversation right now. Here's the thing though. The bottom line is Alex Pretti, he, in my opinion, he escalated the situation. He escalated it by being there armed. Might I add, he was carrying a firearm legally though. Let's not sugarcoat it. He was legally carrying a firearm, so he had every right to be carrying that firearm, concealed or open carry, right? The problem that I've had with it ever since I've been looking at this, at the latest updates with everything, is that he and Joey Jones of Fox News, who's a veteran, that he served as I think on the bomb unit in the Marine Corps. He was saying the other day on the 5, he said, listen, you could be a concealed carry all you want, have the permit, and have the whole 9 yards. But when you show up at a protest, you're still legally obligated if you're licensed to carry a firearm. Nobody's arguing that. Okay. But where it became illegal for him to be carrying that firearm is when he got into the scuffle with ICE agents. Now it became a problem. Now it's illegal. And I 100% agree with that. So the minute he started doing that, now that whole concealed carry thing to legally carry a firearm, that went out the window. Because now you're getting in a scuffle with ICE agents. Who, by the way, Tim Walz called it the other day. He said that, what did he say? I'm just kind of paraphrasing here. He said that ICE agents weren't law enforcement. I'm sitting there thinking to myself, how could you sit there and say that ICE agents are not law enforcement? They're fucking law enforcement. What are you doing? There's at the federal level. So you have local law enforcement. You have county law enforcement. Then you have state trooper, state police, whatever. And then you have federal, local, county, state, federal, right? All those, they're all law enforcement. No matter what your political take is on ICE right now. And he tried to sit there at the podium the other day and he's like, nope, they're not federal law enforcement agent, or they're not law enforcement. It's like, this guy's a total tool, man. This is just a total tool. And when Trump sent Tom Homan there, it's kind of feeling like the things could tone down a little bit. It could tone down a little bit. Because you know how Donald Trump is. I'm pretty sure he literally told the guy, I'm just kind of assuming maybe exactly. Nobody knows what the conversation was, but I can only imagine like what Trump told this guy. He probably said, listen, if you don't get your fucking shit under control, like fast, then I'm going to do it for you. He probably gave him a deadline. He probably said, you got 3 days, you got 5 days, whatever it is. And I'm sending Tom Homan here to get this shit under control. Because you don't know how to. So I think immediately, like after that conversation that they had with each other, then all of a sudden you see this video footage of ICE agents being in a hotel that somebody leaked where these ICE agents were. And obviously protesters showed up. And you got this ICE agent like hanging out the window, or not hanging out the window, but you get these ICE agents like on the third or fourth floor. And one of the ICE agents like literally turned around and just mooned the protesters outside there. I mean, they're off duty, you know what I mean? But he literally turned around, pulled his pants down, bare ass, mooned these protesters. And when he mooned them, he flipped them the bird. Like there's footage out there. You can see it. You can look it up for yourself. Like literally just bare ass and then flips the bird and just walks away. And then like the next footage, like the next little piece of footage that was added onto that, you could see where now it looked like there were, I think it was state police that was there, that was actually there, that were trying to disperse people to get them out. Like, you guys can't be here. You got to get out of here. Like, leave. We're telling you guys to leave. And I don't think they were leaving. All of a sudden they were all under arrest. And they went in there, they did what they did. And I think they arrested quite a few people. But state police showed up and actually assisted with helping these guys. And you haven't seen that. You haven't seen that ever since ever since ICE has been in Minneapolis. You haven't seen any state police helping these guys. So I feel like Donald Trump talking to Tim Walz and saying, listen, dude, stop fucking around with me. Like, we're going to come in here and take care of this. Whether you like it or not, we could do it your way or we could do it my way. You're not going to like it if I do it my way. I'm assuming that, you know, probably in a sense, the conversation may have went in a way. I can only imagine, right? I have no idea. Maybe Donald Trump was being totally nice about the whole situation. I have no idea. But you can almost rest assured that, you know, there was some words being exchanged. And things seem like they're starting to change a little bit there now. It feels that way. It took two people losing their lives over them being stupid for this to happen. And that's what happened, guys. These guys were being dumb. They were protesting in the wrong place at the wrong time. And it got them, unfortunately, it caused them to lose their lives because they just weren't following the instructions. When an ICE agent, I've said this on the last live stream, it's true no matter how you slice it. When a federal officer or a local police department or police officer at the local, state, county, federal, whatever it is, tells you to get down on the ground, put your hands up, get down on the ground, get out of the car, you know, just follow instructions and that's it. And had they followed instructions, they would still be alive today. That's the God's honest truth. They'd still be alive today. I firmly believe that. But my biggest thing is with Alex Pretti, why were you carrying a firearm at a protest? Why are you carrying a fire? It's your legal right to carry that firearm. You were allowed to, but why show up at a protest with a firearm? What are you scared of? What are you afraid of? You afraid that ICE agents were gonna like harm you in some way, shape, or form, and you felt like you had to defend yourself or some way? Like, I don't understand why you would do that. I understand, but I don't. If that makes sense. I get why you would, but I don't understand why you would show up given the circumstances of where you were. And this pressure cooker environment in Minneapolis with these ICE agents. You knew exactly what you were doing. He knew exactly what he was doing. And it ended up him losing his life because he didn't follow instructions. He should have resisted, or he should have not resisted, excuse me. He should have not resisted and just gave up and said, all right, okay, whatever you guys need me to do, I'm good. I'm not trying to get into a fight. I'm not trying to get arrested. I'm just here protesting. That's it. Had he done that, he'd still be alive. I have no doubt in my mind, but unfortunately, that's not how it went. And the whole entire situation is, when you sit there and you look at it from a wide angle lens, so to say, you start seeing all this footage and stuff, and you start kind of doing some background of what took place there a few days ago. You start to ask yourself, like, what kind of a person would do such a thing? I think people that are being fed propaganda or being fed bullshit, lies, made up shit, it's getting into their head. It's causing people to do some really fucked up shit. And that's on the responsibility of state officials there in Minneapolis, filling these protesters' heads and shit full of lies and getting them all riled up. At the end of the day, you're just protecting criminals. You're just protecting criminals from ICE agents. Really fucking bad ones too, might I add. Really, really bad, unwanted criminals that are hanging out in your city that shouldn't be there, regardless if it's a sanctuary city or not. Those people that are on ICE's shit list from the federal government, those are the ones that you're protecting when you're out there doing that shit. It speaks more volume to the people that are protesting ICE about what kind of people they really are. Like, what are you doing? Does ICE make mistakes? Yeah. Get in line. People fuck up all the time. People make mistakes all the time, either at the smallest mistake or the big mistakes. People make mistakes all the time. And I think Trump even said that. Yeah, they've made some mistakes. We're human, right? But if people would just leave ICE alone, there'd probably be less room for error. You know what I mean? ICE is doing the best against all odds. Yes. And if I don't see you guys, if I don't read your comments, please forgive me. I'm just trying to get my point across in the time that I have with you guys. And sometimes I'll glance over and I'll see a comment or two. But if people would just follow instructions, get the fuck out of their way, people would be a lot better off. And they will leave your city. They will leave your city. If you would just do that one simple task, you'd be fine. For me, I ain't going down there. If I live in Minneapolis, I don't want any part of that. I don't want any part of intruding or impeding or, getting in ICE's way. I don't want to go to jail, number one. And number two, I'm not trying to catch a felony and a couple misdemeanors and prison time. No, I'm not trying to do all that, regardless of what my First Amendment right is. No one's impeding on your First Amendment right. It's how you're doing it is the problem. getting in the way of these guys doing their job is what the issue is. And I saw a video. Megyn Kelly was talking about, and we're going to watch this here too. Megyn Kelly was talking about how, or not how, but what kind of a person Alex Pretti actually is. And she said some really interesting things, and I wanted to kind of watch that with you guys here today. Let's go ahead and pull it up here. Let's take a look and see what Megyn Kelly has said. Now, again, I think Megyn Kelly's very knowledgeable when it comes to this stuff. She's a lawyer. She's been doing this a long time, and she talks to a lot of credible people on her show. And she said a lot of things, and I didn't get a chance to really finish this entire video, so I've only seen about maybe 70% of this video just to kind of prep for today's live stream. But she says some really key things that are actually important to take into consideration. So let's take a look.
Can I just show you something? Let's just do it this way. Can we play Natalie Portman? Natalie Portman is super upset. I'm going to show you some breaking news.
Okay, first of all, I don't give a frog's fat ass what celebrities think about what's going on in the real world, because they live they live in fantasy land most of the time, and they're so out of touch with reality. I don't care what an A-list celebrity has to say about what's going on in the world, because they don't live like you and me. They don't live in a normal house. They don't live in a normal environment. They don't fly they don't fly public. They're multimillionaires. They live a very different life. And to me, a lot of them are out of touch. So I don't care what celebrities think. I really don't. I really don't, especially Natalie Portman, man.
Man, she's crying over. But here's Natalie Portman.
What's going on in our country right now is absolutely horrific with what the federal government, Trump's government, Kristi Noem, ICE, what they're doing is really the worst of humanity. And then we also have the best of humanity for the way people are showing up for each other in community, and Americans coming out to support each other and protect each other and fight against injustice. So I could not be prouder to be American right now.
If you're so gung-ho about what's happening, why aren't you down there protesting with these people? You know what I mean? Why aren't you out there?
By the way the Americans are acting, and I could not be sadder to be American right now with the way the government is behaving.
Sorry, I'm getting so emotional because it's really been.
Why are you getting emotional? Over what? What is so emotional about what's going on right now?
It's such a horrible day. It's been a horrible.
As she's at a film festival.
Week, and it's very joyful to be at a film festival and in a creative community celebrating film together.
Celebrating a film together with other celebrities.
But what is happening in our country is just obscene, and what Trump and Kristi Noem and ICE are doing to our citizens is, and to undocumented people is outrageous.
Okay, they're undocumented illegal immigrants, aliens, I should say, not technical immigration in terms of legally coming over here. Illegal aliens, that's on the books. That's the law, ladies and gents, if you don't know that. That triggers people when you say illegal aliens. But Jennifer Lawrence was in an interview a little while back, and she said, like, I'm going to stop talking about political shit. Like, I'm just paraphrasing what she said, but she basically said, I'm not going to talk about my political beliefs or views on anything politically anymore, because people at the end of the day don't care what celebrities think, because they don't look at you as a normal person. They look at you as like you're not like me. We live very different lives.
It needs to end.
And mind you, that was the smartest thing that I've ever heard out of a celebrity about their political beliefs. Yeah, I'm going to stop talking about it. I'm like, yeah, good idea. Go back to your private jets. Go back to your, your high-end income and living. Not saying that's a bad thing. A lot of these guys come from nothing and they've worked their way up to be successful. I have no problem with that. But when a celebrity chimes in about their, hatred, especially towards Donald Trump, it tweaks my melon.
Okay. No one gives a shit about Natalie Portman's political opinion, but she's representative of these far left loons, the Karen Intifada that we've been watching in Minneapolis.
Yep.
And that was after we learned about the death of Alex Pretti on Saturday. She managed to gin up some tears. She's an actress, so yeah.
Yeah, she is an actress. Do
over
you think
this
those
guy.
do you think those tears were fake? Do you think those tears are actually real, legitimate tears? And that's another thing with these actors. You can't tell if they're acting or they're actually being truthful. I really don't know because they're really good at acting. Some of these people can cry on cue, by the way. They get themselves all worked up and riled up. And, it makes you wonder, like, are you being serious or because you're crying at a film festival over a film that you acted in. Are you acting right now?
Because he was just like this poor innocent guy. And the left won't even they're not even loving the term protester for him. It's like they're basically calling him like a good Samaritan, just directing traffic. He was interfering with a federal law enforcement operation. He was not directing traffic like, hey, watch out for the federal officers. He was like, yeah, right this way if you want to block ICE. He was obviously an agitator, an anti-ICE agitator. That's been really clear. We, of course, have reported that here at the MK Show and on AM Update. And now we get this report from CNN.
We're going to hear it from CNN now. What does Mark Dice call them? The Clown News Network. We're going to hear it from the Clown News Network now. Again, CNN lost all their credibility in 2015 when Trump came down the escalators at Trump Tower. They just, ever since then, they have literally just taken a humongous shit on their credibility, and they haven't recovered. They've only gotten worse. Only gotten worse.
It just hit right before we came to air. And it is the headline from CNN in a piece by Jeff Winter and Priscilla Alvarez is Alex Pretti broke rib in confrontation with federal agents a week before death, sources say. I'll give you the highlights now, and then we're bringing on Ruthless to react. Federal immigration officials or officers have been collecting personal information about protesters and agitators in Minneapolis, sources told CNN, and had documented details about Alex Pretti before he was shot to death on Saturday. It is
okay. So what she's doing is she's kind of giving you like a background of of Alex Pretti coming from CNN.
Unclear how Pretti first came to the attention of federal authorities, but sources told CNN that about a week before his death, he suffered a broken rib when a group of federal officers tackled him while he was protesting their attempt to detain other individuals. The earlier incident started when Pretti stopped his car after observing ICE agents chasing what he described as a family on foot and began shouting and blowing his whistle, according to a source who asked not to be named out of fear of retribution.
These damn whistles that these protesters are it's like I'm on, it's like, you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of when I'm on the playground when I was in elementary school and the teachers were blowing the whistle to come in. And they have to keep blowing the whistle to get you off the playground because recess is over. That's what it reminds me of. These fucking whistles, man. If I'm trying to do something and I hear constant annoyance, like such as a whistle, it's like, could you stop that, please? That'd be fantastic. Please stop blowing the fucking whistle on my ear. Thank you.
Pretti later told the source that 5 agents tackled him, and one leaned on his back, an encounter that left him with a broken rib. The agents quickly released him at the scene. That day, he thought he was going to die, said the source. Pretti was later given medication consistent with treating a broken rib, according to the records reviewed by CNN. So they have confirmed that he was in some sort of an altercation with ICE, leaving him with his broken rib.
Yep.
The form titled Intel Collection Non-Arrests allows agents to fill in personal information of agitators and protesters who they encounter.
Yep.
Pretti's name was known to federal agents. Got it? His name was known to the federal agents. That's how active he had been.
So this guy is not his. It wasn't his first rodeo with federal ICE agents or just federal agents in general. Like they knew who this guy was leading up to the unfortunate events in Minneapolis. So that tells you. Now, I'm not saying like these ICE agents knew exactly who this guy was. I'm definitely not saying that immediately when he was there that day, when he got into the scuffle with ICE agents. I'm not saying they knew exactly who he was, but he was on their radar.
According to a source, though it's unclear whether the new intake form was used to share his information. It's also not clear whether the federal agents who encountered him on Saturday recognized him before they confronted him. If they did, it would be highly relevant, of course, but it's not necessary. What this is confirmation that this guy was out there looking for a fight.
Yeah. Anybody that's out there, in my opinion, is looking to disrupt and get into a fight with ICE agents. Like they're just looking for them to come at them. It's almost like they have that come at me bro attitude. That's what it feels like. And that's why I can't figure out why else would you be down there trying to get arrested. Common sense tells me I'm not trying to get arrested here, guys. I just can't believe that people are willing to literally catch a felony over some dumb shit. It does not register with me. That type of logic doesn't register with me. It really doesn't.
Had already interfered with ICE conducting its lawful operations out there in trying, as it sounds here, to abduct, to arrest a family that was fleeing, obviously with probable cause to believe that they were illegal.
Yeah.
That's fine. That's their job.
Yep.
That's what Barack Obama did too. And
yeah. You if you catch me on the last two live streams ago, we were talking about this and I brought this up. People tend to forget that Obama did this as well. You just didn't hear about it because he was a Democratic president and everybody loved Barack Obama. I thought Barack Obama was a great president. I thought he did some really good things. And you didn't hear about this when he was president. You just didn't hear about it because it wasn't a big deal. It was just another day being an ICE agent, getting rid of these guys. The only difference is now you have Donald Trump in there, who's probably the most hated Republican president that we'll ever see in our lifetimes. Same border czar, Tom Homan, just under a different administration, doing the same job. The only difference is he's got 4 times the problem of getting these people out of here at a much larger scale. You know what I mean? So when you're trying to clean up a mess, it's going to be messy for a while because you're trying to clean up a mess. So it's not going to look pretty, right? It's not going to look pretty. But eventually, when you get it cleaned up, everything's going to look nice again. Like I said, the only difference is it was on a smaller scale back on Obama's day, and it wasn't, you just didn't hear about it, right? Now all of a sudden, Donald Trump being hated as much as he is, of course, that's all you're going to hear about. They're trying to pick and poke and make Donald Trump look like the worst of the worst. And it didn't matter at the end of the day, he's still one president. I mean, they tried to put this guy in prison for years, practically the rest of his life, given his age. And the only difference is that it's just a different president. That's it. And it's a much bigger problem than it was under Obama. But people tend to forget Obama did the same thing, guys, with the same border czar, Tom Homan. Everybody tends to forget that.
he thought it was.
Or they didn't know. Some people didn't know. Some people were like, I don't remember was that Tom Homan under Obama? Yeah. Fuck yeah, it was. You didn't know that? Why? Obama deported more illegal immigrants, more illegal aliens than any president. 5.5 million deportations under the Obama administration. Donald Trump was like 1.5 million his first term, I think it was. I don't know what it's at right now. I don't know what the numbers are right now. But yeah, people just either didn't know or they didn't care to do their research.
His business to interfere to inject himself in that situation and found himself on the wrong end of ICE operators. And did that give him one modicum of hesitation to do it again? Do you think now with a broken bone and having been roughed up by officers as you or I would be if we had done what Alex Pretti had done that first time?
I just want to say that's 100% true. If I went down there and I started fucking around the way these protesters are with these ICE agents, I would probably end up being battered, bruised, broken, busted eye socket, bloody nose, a busted lip, a broken wrist. Because these protesters are probably resisting. They're resisting their asses off. You could see that, and these ICE agents are just taking their arms, twisting, putting it around my back. Yeah, fuck. I'd be beat up and battered too if I resisted arrest. You bet your ass. If that happened to you or me, forget about it. It wouldn't be pretty. And knowing if I had that mindset, it's not going to end well for me if I went down there and I tried to mess with these guys. Like, no, I'm not doing that.
He learned anything. Did he understand that when you interfere in a lawful ICE operation or Border Patrol operation, you are placing yourself in physical danger?
No.
Broken bones and worse can happen to you.
No.
Of course he did. Of course he did. We knew that yesterday. We knew that imagine. Sunday. We knew that Saturday.
He had to have known. Like, hey, this isn't my first rodeo, and why would I want to put myself in that situation again? No, I'm good.
We didn't need this report to confirm it, but it does. It's not going to change a thing about how the far left reacts to this.
No.
Maybe they'll count it as another brutalization by the evil ICE. No, that's not what this proves. It proves this guy was an agitator, and he was part of the terror crew that felt they could insert themselves in between a cop and his target, which is putting your life on the line 10 times out of 10.
Yeah, when you go down there and you do what you do, you're just asking. Sadly, you're asking to. I mean, I'll just say it. You're asking to get shot. I mean, and that's not with ICE agents too. I mean, that's any law enforcement, any law enforcement. You go down there and you start fucking with these guys at a massive scale, like you see in Minneapolis. Something bad's about to happen. Something terrible's bound to happen to you. How could it not? I don't want any part of that.
No sane person thinks they can do that without risking their life.
I can't.
No one.
No, I can't do
Especially not in Minneapolis, where these guys are being terrorized.
The
ICE agents and the Border Patrol agents. He knew it was assumption of the risk. That's a legal defense when you get charged with, say, negligence not charged, but accused of negligence in a civil tort claim, right? When somebody's trying to seek money from you.
Yeah.
Don't come.
You know that these families are lured up through the teeth that are going to try to go after these ICE agents. I don't think it's going to work. And even if something did go through at the local level, it would probably be thrown out by a judge, because the judge will probably sit there and go, "This is a federal issue. This is not a local issue. It's a federal issue." And let's just say these ICE agents that are involved in all this stuff were criminally charged and sentenced. They would probably be pardoned by the president. I wouldn't doubt it. That's just what I'm thinking. If they were criminally charged at the federal level, most likely it would either get thrown out by a judge, or if the judge decided to allow it to go through and they were tried, convicted, and sentenced, I think Donald Trump would just pardon these guys, and you probably wouldn't see anything else about it. That's just my opinion. That's my opinion. If something were to happen, that's the way I could see it going.
Come onto my property. It's super icy today. Snow is everywhere. I can't ensure your safety. I see the snow. I see the ice. I'm going to come anyway. I have special boots. I'll be fine.
Hold on, let me rewind that.
Don't come onto my property. It's super icy today. Snow is everywhere. I can't ensure your safety. I see the snow. I see the ice. I'm going to come anyway. I have special boots. I'll be fine. Slip, fall, lawsuit for negligence in maintaining the property in an unsafe way.
I remember hearing about that.
You assume the risk. It was disclosed. You knew about it. You came anyway.
Mm-hmm.
The defendant wins that case. But it is a concept in the law that relieves a defendant of a legal burden. And it applies, in theory, in a criminal case too. And it's basically a self-defense case. But my point is simply, this guy knew very well, what was going to happen to him if he, yet again, injected himself in the middle of a Border Patrol enforcement operation.
Yeah, he did.
But he did it anyway.
Yeah.
I'm not.
Everybody knows that if you speed in a car and you've been pulled over for speeding and you've been cited for speeding, you know that if I do it again, I know what could potentially happen to me if I do it again, especially if you've been there, done that. It's not your first rodeo. That's what she's saying, right? This guy has been there, done that, and he was on the federal radar. They knew who this guy was. So he knew what the potential outcome could lead to, especially given the pressure cooker environment that has been Minneapolis with all this crazy stuff going on there. He knew the risk. And anybody with common sense would also know the risk that I shouldn't be doing that. And that's not what we're seeing. We're seeing the opposite with these people. It's amazing to just watch this unfold of the sheer dumbness, the sheer stupidity of these people just being dumb. Why are you being dumb? Don't be stupid. What's that phrase? Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. That's exactly what's going on in Minneapolis.
Shocked? You're not shocked? We don't give a shit what Natalie Portman thinks or doesn't think about this. I'm just showing you her fake fucking tears. I mean, like, where were her tears for Lake and Riley? I don't remember her tearful video over Jocelyn Nangare down in Texas. Did you cry for her? You rich bitch who's protected by guards and fences and multi-million-dollar estates from having to deal with.
This is why I like Megyn Kelly. She doesn't give a fuck. She doesn't give a fuck. When she gets going, she doesn't give two shits about your feelings. And I think that's great because that makes her so great at what she's when she's on her show here and she gives her opinion on something. She has no filter. You know, people like us, like me, that gives an opinion. I could care less if you like it or not. Again, that's the First Amendment right. I can say whatever the fuck I want. And if it pisses you off, that means I'm doing my job right. Oh, you don't like what I have to say? Good. I guess that means I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. It's getting a reaction out of you to have a conversation with me. And then maybe at the end, we could be best buds. You never know. That happens with Donald Trump all the time. People that fucking hated that man. Hated that man. Bill Maher he didn't care for Donald Trump at all. He gave two fucks about Donald Trump. He didn't like him. But then he went and had dinner with the guy. He sat down with him and he's like, okay, I have a different opinion on this man. He's not a racist. He's not this. He's not all these things that I claim for him to be. He's none of those things. And now Bill Maher is kind of like a 50-50 now with this guy. It's amazing. And they talk all this shit about stuff they don't even know the person. They're talking all this shit about him. And then they actually sit down behind the scenes and have a conversation with these people. And they're like, wow, hey, I thought you were a total dick. You're actually a pretty cool cat. You know what I mean? But the way that you see the things that are unfolding in Minneapolis and you have an opinion on it, people just lose their minds. They're like, if you disagree with somebody that doesn't necessarily believe your beliefs about what's going on there, then they think you're like the worst of the worst. But if you're okay with if you're okay on their side about their opinion, you agree with it. I mean, you guys are best friends. But if you have a disagreement with something about what's going on, people just like hate you for it. It's really insane. And Megyn Kelly just doesn't care about your feelings. I mean, she's going to say what she says, and I agree.
With anything like what these Border Patrol agents are going through, or these ICE agents are going through in order to protect people who don't have your money and means and resources, tell it to Jocelyn's mother.
Yeah.
As you cry, while these guys are trying to deport molesters of children, you fucking idiot, know-nothing Hollywood starlet. Honestly, it's infuriating to watch them.
Yeah.
It's not just her. Here's Jimmy Kimmel. All right, let's look at Jimmy Kimmel.
Okay, well, yeah, and that's true too. I agree with that on every level of these Hollywood celebrities, man. The normal person, the average, everyday, blue collar, hardworking American, and anything that they do in this life is so out of touch with celebrities, it's not even funny. So people really don't give a shit about what celebrities think. They really don't. I don't care. At the end of the day, I really don't care. Do you think they care about your well-being? No. They could care less about your well-being. They don't know who you are. They don't know you. They don't know you as a person, as a human being. They're not friends with you. Why would I care? I could care less, right? I could care less. And then these celebrities, these families that lost loved ones to illegal aliens that came in this country and murdered their kids, murdered their family, a member of their family, Laken Riley. You know, when she was tragically killed, you heard squat from these celebrities. You didn't hear shit from these celebrities. You hear nothing, absolutely nothing. Silence, radio silence. But when the narrative has switched, now it just feels like they're for the criminals. It's like you're sticking up for the criminals. I just don't understand it. I don't understand it. It's insane to me. But yeah, you didn't hear shit when these families lost loved ones to illegal aliens coming into this country and doing what they did to these family members and stuff. You heard nothing from these celebrities, and it just, that's why I can care less. I could care less what these guys, with these celebrities think.
Every
Jimmy
single
Kimmel,
word
of
I
all
just said
people.
about Portman applies to this loser too. Watch.
And to the people of Minneapolis, to the Pretti family and the Good family, and these people who were looking out for their neighbors, we want you to know that we are with you and you are not alone.
Oh God, he's crying again. Jimmy Kimmel is crying on national television in front of tens of thousands of viewers. Let me rewind that again. Why are you crying?
This loser too. Watch.
Hold on. Let me.
And to the people of Minneapolis, to the Pretti family and the Good family, and these people who were looking out for their neighbors, we want you to know that we are with you and you are not alone.
This guy didn't give two fucks about Laken Riley or any of those people that lost their lives to illegal immigration. Not one fuck was given by this guy. Not one. Not one. None of them did. None of them. But you sit there, you cry on national television. He cried when Donald Trump got elected president. You guys remember that? Do you remember that? Why? Why are you so emotional right now? Not saying that you can't be, but why weren't you emotional when Laken Riley was murdered? Where was the outrage? Where was the damn tears then? You just didn't see it. That's what makes people so upset, is because you didn't see that. And no, MAGA people, the MAGA crowd is not heartless either. The difference between us, people that you want to call MAGA, the MAGA crowd, that's another word that triggers people for some odd reason. TDS is a real thing. But MAGA people, or people that are Donald Trump supporters, not even Donald Trump, but just Republican conservatives in general, they're not heartless. They really aren't. They're the only people that I know, for the most part, that actually really do care. They really do give a shit. Not saying that Democrats are heartless, although nowadays you can't really, I mean, it's kind of like, well, kind of, you know, with the rhetoric that's coming out of Washington, you're like, fuck. Like, damn, why aren't, really? That's what you think? That's really what you think. All I'm saying is the tears weren't there when Lagan Riley and all the other individuals that lost their lives to people that came across the border illegally under the Biden administration. You didn't see this outrage. You didn't see people protesting. You didn't see people going on national television and giving their thoughts and opinions about how horrible the situation is. You didn't see that. So that's what makes it so infuriating. And then he cried when Donald Trump won president because he thought this country was going to be like doomed from the start. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. I don't even know if this guy's really, is he acting? And the reason why this is so upsetting, guys, is because it feels like you're standing up, you're crying. To me, it feels like you're crying for the wrong reasons. Yeah, you're crying because the whole entire thing is sad. And that's sad in itself. It should have never happened. That's the sad part. These people should have never been down there doing what they were doing. That's what makes it so sad. But the reason why these people lost their lives is because they weren't following instructions by a federal law enforcement officer. Had they done that, it would have been, like I said, probably a very different outcome, in my opinion. You know what I mean? I hate that it's crickets from one side when something tragic happens, and then the other side is so outraged, and it just feels like it's for the wrong reasons, you know?
He cried. Where were his tears for Elizabeth Medina?
That's the one I was thinking
of.
A
young teenager.
That's the one I was
thinking of. Who lived in
of.
Texas and Houston when an illegal went into her home.
Yeah, that's the other one I was trying to, not Lagan Riley, but this was the other one. There was another one in San Antonio. Was it San Antonio, Texas? She was another one that lost her life.
I don't remember Jimmy Kimmel shedding tears over Elizabeth. Jimmy, why don't we care about her? Why do we only care about illegals who are getting arrested by ICE and Border Patrol and the agitators who try to keep them there, who try to keep them free so they can have access to Lisbeth and Jocelyn and Laken?
Yep.
Save your acting for someone who cares. Yeah. Save your fake tears, which in Jimmy Kimmel's case are always about himself. All he really has to do is gin up the moment when he almost got canceled. Oh my God, he wasn't going to be in front of the Klieg lights again. He was going to be reduced to podcasting. What's it all? And he can cry.
I remember
like
that too.
It's easy for him. It's easy for Natalie Portman. Okay. She grew up a child actress. God only knows what that did to her. I mean, seriously, what kind of a sane parent puts their child into child acting in this environment? But that's what was done to her.
Yeah.
So maybe it's probably easy for her to gin up the tears too. Yeah. You would have thought that if they were so easy, she would have spared one for Jocelyn or one for Elizabeth. Just one, just what would that video look like? Do you think you could spare time at the Cannes Film Festival?
You would think that they would just cry on both sides. Like the whole entire thing is depressing as shit and it's sad. That's what you would think that's would be the message here. That's not what's happening. It's the complete opposite.
For the young teenage girls murdered in their homes, or Jocelyn sexually assaulted and thrown over a bridge. Do you have even just a welling of the eyes for her, Natalie? No, it's all fucking performative. That won't get them likes, you see. They're not going to get snaps at Cannes for that. They're only going to get it for dumping on law enforcement. It could be a cop. It could be a fed. It could be a National Guardsman. It could be an ICE agent. It could be a Border Patrol agent. They don't care. They don't care.
They don't.
Try to look like you hate Trump, and it's a win.
Yeah.
Okay? That's your main goal as a Hollywood actress.
Yep.
It's disgusting.
It is.
And now we know you're shedding tears over a man who knew full well the danger he was assuming when he injected himself into an ICE operation, a Border Patrol operation.
He knew.
With which he had no business.
He knew.
None whatsoever.
Yeah. He knew, ladies and gentlemen. He did. He did. He knew very well what was going to happen if he was to continue to do what he's doing, especially if that wasn't his first rodeo. If that wasn't his first rodeo, he knew exactly what the potential outcome is. Again, it goes back to the whole win stupid game or play stupid games, win stupid prizes. Fuck around and find out. That whole analogy around that, right? And don't get me wrong, guys. Don't get me wrong. What happened to Alex Pretti and Renee Good? It really is depressing when you think about it, because a mother lost a daughter, a father lost a daughter, or a sibling lost a sister. And that whole aspect of it, when you think in terms of their family, that's what makes it so tragic. And you just can't help to think to yourself, like, why? For what? And to potentially lose your life for what? What was the purpose of that? There is none. And from my experience, from just being here on this earth, anytime I've ever seen a protest anywhere, it doesn't matter where it's at, anywhere, nothing ever changed. Nothing ever changed. The only thing that ever came from that is media attention of 5 minutes of fame, and it just went away. It went away. I've never seen a protest that somebody went on that changed the narrative and changed the way something should be doing for the reason of the protest. I've never seen that happen before. I've never seen a good outcome. It's usually people get arrested and everything else, and not saying it's protesting is bad, because it's not. But even if you have the most respectful protester who is truly protesting peacefully and is there for the right reasons to try to make a difference and a change of their argument of what they want changed, those are the people that you don't hear about during the protest. You don't see those people on the news that are being good and are respecting people's, privacy, their property, not impeding on any kind of, church, going into private property and just waltzing your way into a restaurant and you start making noise and blowing your whistle and shit. I'm not talking about disruptive protest. That's stupid on steroids, man. That's stupid on steroids. Why that's bullshit to me. Why would you do something so stupid? That's dumb. Those are the people that get all the attention for the wrong reasons. And everything that you're seeing in Minneapolis as far as protests goes, it's all for the wrong reason. Because these protesters are standing up for illegal immigrants that should not be here. Bad ones too. I've said this earlier. That's why that's what they're doing. They're standing up for criminals. Because why else are you down there? You want ICE to leave? So what? Criminals can continue to do what they do? I tried to find a clip. Megyn Kelly said this the other day too. I was going to play it, but I'll just talk about it right now. She mentioned that she's like, you know what? And I agree with it. She said, you know what? Let's just pull these people out of here. Take ICE, pull them out. Get them out. Let's leave Minneapolis. Let's leave Minneapolis and allow the people that don't want ICE there to continue doing what they're doing. Have all the illegal aliens come to Minneapolis. Have them all come here. Yeah, come to Minneapolis. You can come here, and you can also commit fraud here too. and potentially get away with it there because they got billions of dollars worth of fraud in that state, which is astronomically. It went from just, I think they were saying it went from just like hundreds of millions to like several billions. Now it's looking like it's billions and billions of dollars worth of fraud. With that fuckery in that state, man, I mean, I can't even imagine. But it seems like Minneapolis just wants to go back to committing illegal acts. And it's like, you know what? If you want ICE to leave, fine. Then just tell every illegal alien to just come to Minneapolis. Come here. We will help you and shelter you and commit fraud and all this other shit that's going on there. That's I can't agree with that more. I'm just paraphrasing what she said, but yeah, that's what it feels like. Like, get out of here. We don't want you here. We don't want you to get rid of criminals. We want you to just continue to allow us to have illegals here. It doesn't make any sense to me. It really doesn't make any sense to me. It's ludicrous. It's ludicrous. If you don't agree with me, that's fine. But that's what I see in Minneapolis right now. That's what I see. I see people wanting ICE out of their state because they want to go back to what it was. And what was happening there before ICE got there was not good. And we all know that. We all know the crazy shit that was going on there by Mr. Shirley that broke it all open with the fraud scandal that's happening in all the daycare centers, especially at the Leering Center. You guys remember the Leering Center? Yeah. By the way, I think that place shut down, FYI. The Leering Center shut down, unfortunately. Probably because they just weren't getting enough business. It's very sad. But yeah, I think the Leering Center just completely shut down amidst of all the craziness going on there with the fraud. So in my personal opinion, my unofficial opinion, ladies and gentlemen, is if you don't like what ICE is trying to do, which is keep you safe from illegal immigrants that shouldn't be here, you are standing up for the criminals. That's my opinion. You're for the criminal. That's just it. You know, you can like that or not, but I really don't care if it hurts your feelings. That's just what I think. That's what I think. You know, that's what I think. People that don't like law enforcement, they usually because those people are criminals in a way. Because why else would you be against law enforcement? For what? Not saying all law enforcement is good, because it's not. Not every person in law enforcement is actually good. There are some bad apples in everything that's out there. There's bad teachers, there's bad welders, there's bad construction workers, there's bad, CEOs. There's bad people that work at Starbucks, probably. There's bad people that work at, anywhere. You'll find them in every profession, regardless of what it is. But ever since this guy took office, man, ever since Donald Trump took office, people have lost their fucking minds. And it's mind-boggling to me if you think that ICE should not exist and defund the police and all this other stuff. It's insane. Insane. I don't agree with that narrative of not supporting ICE, not supporting federal law enforcement, local law enforcement. I think you're crazy. And I think something happens at some point to turn your mind the other way. Something calls you to take a 180. And I don't know anyone that is not for law and order in this country, because we could turn into a third world country real quick. And then you're going to have people out there that say, we already live in a third world country. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? No, we don't. You can go to a fucking McDonald's right now on the corner of Main and High Street or whatever, or no matter where, and get a fucking Big Mac at like 11 o'clock at night. You go to a local gas station and get a meatball sub at 2 o'clock in the morning on like a Tuesday. and get all this luxurious food at a gas, if you want to call a gas station luxury food, compared to other countries, compared to what they have. Yeah, that's luxury. You live like fucking kings here, man. People don't understand like how good you actually really have it. It's insane. And if we're a third world country, we can't do that. And if we don't have that, it's because we have no law and order in this country. Without law and order, what do you have? Chaos, destruction, insanity. You have people doing horrible things to other people. You have crime through the roof. It's never a good outcome. So I am for law and order in this country. You have to have it. ICE is part of that law and order to get rid of a problem that was caused under the last administration because we had open borders. Had the Biden administration not opened the Mexican-American border, had the borders not been wide open, we wouldn't be having this conversation right now. We wouldn't be talking about how ICE is doing all this crazy shit and all this stuff. You wouldn't be hearing about it. It'd be business as usual. Of course, under Donald Trump, they'd probably find some other shit to try to bring him down in some way. They always do. So after this craziness in Minneapolis, once that pressure comes down and once that the hatred for them comes down, because eventually all heads will cool, ICE will leave, and then they're just going to move on to something else, move on to another state or whatever. You're not going to see that in a law-abiding city full of law-abiding citizens. You won't see the craziness in Minneapolis, let's just say in some parts in Florida or Texas. You only see it in cities. You don't see this in like some population of like, 10,000 people in a small town. You don't see this problem. You see it in cities full of millions of people, and they're sanctuary cities. That's where you see the pushback. You see the pushback from sanctuary cities that are ran by Democrats. That's what I see. That's what I see. Is that a coincidence? I was just thinking about this today, and then we'll end it. We'll end the live stream here on this. The one thing that I'm trying to figure out, what does all this have to do with the current administration? Like, what do these things have in common of what you're seeing in Minneapolis with just everything? I'm just trying to put everything together. Like, why is this the way it is? You can obviously say the border and all this other stuff, right? It led up to this point or whatever, right? You could say that. But the one thing I have noticed here today is that you're in a state of Minneapolis. It's a sanctuary city. It's a sanctuary city that is ran by a Democratic governor who does not like Donald Trump. And then the state is ran by a governor who does not like Donald Trump, who actually was this close to winning the presidency, vice presidency. God knows where we'd be if that guy got into office. And Kamala Harris. I have no idea where this country would have been. But I'm like, why is everything so fucking chaotic in Minneapolis right now? And I was trying to figure that out, and I figured it out. It's not because it's because of a lot of different things, but the main reason, in my opinion, you see such fucking craziness in Minneapolis is because you have two leaders in that state that hate Donald Trump. And that is why you are seeing what you're seeing right now. That is the truth. They fucking hate Donald Trump. Because if somebody was a Democrat in office right now and this was happening and they told him to knock the bullshit off, we're not going anywhere, ICE is going to do their job, you wouldn't hear a peep out of these guys, in my opinion. You wouldn't hear a peep out of them. It'd be like, law enforcement is doing their job. They're trying to make your city safe. They're trying to do. You wouldn't hear a peep. It'd be a whole different ball game, man. A whole different ball game. But I figured it out. They hate Donald Trump. That's it. That's why you're seeing what you're seeing right now. They want chaos in their city. That's the narrative I'm getting. That message has been loud and clear, in my opinion. They want chaos. They want destruction. They want their city to become in ruins. That's my opinion. They really do. Because why would you want this craziness to happen? And any responsible leader would sit there and say, you know what? We can't have this anymore. You guys need to tone down the rhetoric, regardless of what is coming out of Washington. You would think that the leaders of this country would say, hey, or of that state and that city would say, guys, we got to stop this. We got to go home. Just go home. If you want to protest, fine. Protest. But please stay away from these agents. Stay away from them for their safety and yours. Please. Allow these guys to do their job. A job, again, mind you, they swore an oath to do. Is to protect and uphold the Constitution, protect you and uphold the Constitution of the United States. And then you're going to have people that say they're not abiding by the Constitution. That's just your opinion. That's just your opinion. So at the end of the day, this is all because they hate Donald Trump. And that's it. That's why you see what you see. And eventually, this will turn into Donald Trump's fault, just like everything else. It's Trump's fault. Oh, this country is failing as a nation. It's Donald Trump's fault. This city's in debt, billions of dollars. Oh, it's Donald Trump's fault. The crime rate is through the roof in my city. Somehow it'll get turned on Donald Trump. Even Tim Walz said a lot of the stuff because he's in the hot seat right now, being investigated for fraud in his state, and it's looking like he probably knew that the fraud was occurring, and he blamed it on white supremacy. It always comes down to white supremacy and Donald Trump, and that's just sad, man. It really is. Ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate every single one of you guys that stuck around throughout this whole fiasco. I do appreciate every single one of you that's came in and said hello. Yeah, I'm bad with the chat. I understand that. If I read this chat, we will be live until literally midnight. I do want to hold conversations with you guys. I see that you're chit-chatting in there, and I see that some words are being communicated amongst you and some other folks in the chat. Just so you know, it doesn't go unnoticed. And I appreciate even the ones that disagree with me, that hate me for my beliefs and saying the things that I say because I have an opinion. I mean, you're more than welcome to come back. You really are. Come back, come hang out, and maybe we can reason together. Who knows? If you haven't already, do me a favor, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. If you haven't already, guys, we're trying to grow this. My goal is to grow this channel, our community here, to 1,000 subscribers. We're on our way to do that. So please follow me, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Oh, and I say this all the time. Turn on those notifications so you don't miss anytime I go live or make a video. We live in a great country, guys. Let's keep America safe. Let's keep America beautiful. And in the words of our fearless, most badass president we've ever had next to Teddy Roosevelt, in my opinion, we will make America safe again. We will make America strong again. Am I pissing some people off? We will make America wealthy again. We will make America strong again.
And we will make America great again.
Ladies and gentlemen, have a great rest of your night. And we'll catch you on the next one, guys. Have a good one. Take care.